Hey everyone, this is GFrom. I'm back.
Holzklotz Productions!
GFrom, the gamer, the legend, he's come to show you the way in this world of games. GFrom Reviews.
Arguably one of the best series in video game history is the Mario series. We all know the history behind it, but it's mind-blowing how many superb games have been released in a time span of about 30 years. And I have had my history with these games too. Although Sonic the Hedgehog is the first game I remember playing, I've been told that I played Super Mario Bros. Before I could even create memories. And I was a huge Mario fan as a kid.
Super Mario!
Yeah, that's me. When it comes to Nintendo consoles, I only had an NES and a Game Boy as a kid. Some friends of mine had a Super Nintendo, but after that I didn't play Nintendo until the Wii was released because we always had Sega or Sony consoles. No shit. With that being said, I have a lot more to say about the old 2D games of the series because I grew up with them. Now keep in mind, the order here is not based on the quality of the games or the impact they made on the video game industry. This list is supposed to show you how I feel towards these games. Nostalgia plays a big part, and also how often I play these games nowadays. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Number 5. Super Mario Bros. 3. When I ask people about their favorite Mario game, the answer I get the most is Super Mario Bros. 3, and I can see why. It was Mario's biggest adventure yet, and it introduced so many new things to the franchise, with the Tanuki suit being my favorite new addition. I never owned this game as a kid, but my grandma's brother did, and he was my babysitter as a kid, so lucky me got to play the hell out of this game. It felt so much more epic than the first Mario, thanks to the map system, the many secrets, and the music, which is catchy, atmospheric, and overall enhances the experience by a great extent. Sadly, this game was too hard for me as a kid, and I have yet to beat it, because I don't play it that often. For me, it has lost a bit of its charm over the years, but that doesn't stop it from being a AAA Mario game. Number 4. Super Mario Bros. From here on, the list gets tough. This game could pretty much also be number 1, but I had to make choices, man! I owned this game as a kid until my grandma sold it at the flea market without asking me. How could she do that to me? Thanks to the Virtual Console, I had it before I bought myself another NES, and I have played it countless times in the last few years. As a kid, it was fun to explore the stages and find all kinds of secrets like hidden 1-ups, vines, or even warp zones. Meanwhile, I can beat this game in under 10 minutes, but back then it was really difficult for me. Along with Sonic, it started my love for platformers, which is still strong at the age of 23. It hasn't aged a bit, and the replay value has yet to be matched. I love the graphics, and oh my god, the sound is phenomenal! How can you not love this music? Seriously! Number 3.
Super Mario World!
So here we have a game that I never owned myself until I downloaded it from the Virtual Console. But like I said, a bunch of friends had this game on the Super Nintendo back then, and every time I was there, I wanted to play it. It was a kid's dream. Although I will always prefer Sega and Sonic games towards Nintendo, this, along with F-Zero, was the game that I wanted to have so desperately, but never got. It was just so huge, and I had never played a game of this magnitude before. And the beautiful and colorful graphics, which are absolutely gorgeous up to this day, some of the most memorable tunes that have ever blessed your auditory senses, and the crazy level design and gameplay elements, and you have a game that is loved by everyone that has ever existed. Yes, even Jesus Christ himself loved him some Super Mario World. Number 2. Shit. This is such a tough choice. I love both Super Mario Land and Super Mario Land 2 so much. They are on the same level of awesomeness, and I have played these games like a million times each in the past 16 years. Whenever I played either of these games, I say to myself, this is my favorite Mario game ever. And now when I play these games back to back, I can't pick a favorite. It's just impossible despite the fact that they are so different from one another. So let me explain why I love these games individually.
Why I love Super Mario Land.
In 1997, on my 7th birthday, after lots of begging and hoping, I finally got a Game Boy Pocket along with, you guessed it, Super Mario Land. I had played it before on a fat Game Boy at a friend's house, but now it was finally mine. It took me quite a while to beat this game back then, and I still remember I told everyone to be quiet at the dinner table when I first encountered the Fire Lions on level 3 because it was so intense. It's so funny when I think about it, the times were different. Months later, 2 friends were watching me playing this game and I got to the final boss. I had never beaten him before, but this time I made it and we all just freaked out and ran to my mom and I screamed,
I beat the final boss!
And a friend shouted,
We beat the game!
and another one was like,
You just had to shoot him all the time!
I will never forget that. So this is without a doubt the Mario game that I have the most nostalgia for. It represents a time in my life when all I had to worry about was whether or not I could beat a certain game on my tiny little Game Boy. But even today I think this is a fantastic game. I love the music and the overworld theme from stage 1 might be my favorite of the whole series. I'm totally honest. Some might say it hasn't aged that well, but I don't agree at all. I love that the gameplay is fast, I love that turtles explode, I love Super Balls! Yes, that's what they're called. Meanwhile, this is my favorite game to speedrun and I can beat it in well under 30 minutes. So for me, it hasn't lost any of its charm and it makes me feel like a 7-year-old again.
Why I love Super Mario Land 2.
About a year after I got Super Mario Land, my brother also got a Game Boy along with Super Mario Land 2. He was kind enough to let me play from time to time and I was blown away by the game ever since I had played it at the neighbor's house in the Super Game Boy. Being able to save your game and having 3 save states was so great because this game is huge. Today I can beat it in one sitting, including the secret levels, but in the late 90s this was the biggest game I had played on a Game Boy to this point. I prefer the map system over the one from Super Mario World because you have 6 different zones with their own theme to explore, which you can play in any order you like. I don't have as much nostalgia for this game as for its predecessor, but technically this is the better game. There's so much stuff to do and so many secrets to find. Mario's sprite is finally bigger and the power-ups are better. The bunny suit is probably my favorite power-up in Super Mario history. Of course, I also love the music, which is catchy as all hell. The best part is Wario's castle, which was hard as nails for me. But on some glorious day, a young Swedish kid finally jumped on Wario's head 9 times and beat the game. Wario's castle is by far my favorite part ever in a Mario game. The music, the challenge, it goes along so well and you really need skills to beat this level. It's still a blast to play and might be my favorite Mario game ever. Or is it? Man, it's such a tough choice. Both of them do so many things right for me and I'm very passionate about them. So f it, I choose both of them as my #1 picks. Yeah, it's kinda cheap, but how can you blame me? The first one wins in terms of nostalgia and memories and the second one wins in terms of gameplay elements and variety. So when you think about it, it's the perfect combination. The 2 Mario Land games are after all my favorite Mario games I have ever played. Not one of the many newer entries in the Mario universe have made such an impact on me. And that is saying something. Thanks for watching this video and respecting my choices. Of course I want to know, what are your favorite old school 2D Mario games and why? And how important is nostalgia to you? Well, that's it for today. Feel free to subscribe and hit that like button if you want more videos in the future. I'll see you later. Have a nice day.